I'll just sit back here and listen to you talk. I'll drink my Starbucks.
You drinking Starbucks at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's the one that you almost bought me at the show right
That's the
there.
one I was actually standing online at the hotel lobby, and the lady was looking at me like, "Who are you calling right now?" So,
Oh, God.
and you literally answer the phone. I'm like, "Hey, I'm at Starbucks. You want something?" that was
Yeah.
that was hilarious. All right, so I want to welcome everybody to the show. Obviously, we already started. We're already cracking jokes. Um, I have my regular recurring guest, Dr. Rick Pauly, and we both attended this year's 2025 NFCA softball convention in Las Vegas, Nevada, a few days ago. And we wanted to make sure that we did a recap post from our perspective immediately after so that we can get it out there and everybody who attended can kind of listen in and the people who didn't attend can kind of listen in and you can kind of see what our thoughts are, being that we are longtime attenders. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people in the world that have attended way more conventions than I've attended, but I feel like I've attended a lot of conventions and I've been able to watch the evolution of the convention to see how it has changed. Although maybe it's me that's changed and maybe the convention didn't change, but
Yeah.
it has changed, and nevertheless it has changed in my eyes. And one of the things that I noticed, and I want to talk about this also, Rick, is the number of travel ball coaches that have attended that I over the years, and maybe it was just because it was Vegas, and Vegas is the one you kind of do want to go to if you're going to go to one because it's Vegas and it's such a draw, with all of the extracurricular things that Vegas brings, with the concerts and the shows and the gambling and casinos and the glitz and the glamour of the allure of Las Vegas, Nevada. But nevertheless, I thought it was, from my perspective, I thought it was a well attended convention on the part of travel ball coaches.
I would agree with that. A good friend of mine, Pat Moyer, who's big in the travel ball world with Fury Fast Pitch,
Yep.
I ran into Pat. He was heading into his travel ball caucus, and a couple things. One was I understand this was the largest attendance they've ever had at the convention. I heard something like over 2,250
That's
attendees.
incredible.
That's a lot of people.
That's
It
good.
felt
Yeah.
that way in the exhibitors booth area. There was like pretty constant traffic all day, and of course, when the sessions or classes let out, it got to be overflow traffic, which
Mm-hmm.
was great.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what Pat told me, and I know he's in the know on this, and I believe it's travel ball coaches make up 70% of NFCA
Membership.
membership.
Okay, got it.
Think about that. That's a lot. And I think the travel ball coaches feel like they don't really get a lot of say in maybe the whole scheme of things, what's going on softball. And I know one of the big things that was on the docket that he told me was um, discussions that they wanted to present to NFCA/NCAA on the recruiting calendar. I think the move is to they're trying to move commitments back to I think September of senior year. Not that's not travel ball doing that. That's the NCAA. What they're trying to do is to keep it at the same place, September 1st of your junior year, but they want to allow college coaches to actually have contact with the kids, say, starting in July, rather than waiting until, oh man, September 1st and some kid just gets overrun with coaches and their heads exploding. And, it would be nice to have a little lead up to that time. It would probably be nice for college coaches to have a little lead up to help them make their final decision. So I don't know how that ended up. I just know that was going to be a discussion point in the travel ball caucus. So
I got some thoughts.
yeah.
I don't think that travel ball has any input, any relevant input in terms of recruiting. I think it's colleges because they're the ones that
Oh,
are
well, you're right. They probably don't, but they feel like they
they
should,
feel like
and
they should.
maybe
And I
maybe
don't.
they should.
Maybe they should. And I can be convinced otherwise. But where I'm looking at it is like, that's a pretty good one right there.
Yeah.
Because once upon a time, that's how it was. But once upon a time, there weren't. I think the kids weren't so busy, and the coaches weren't so busy. So what happens now is you have coaches who have recruited all summer, and then at July 1, you're opening up recruiting. Let's say you open up contact July 1 instead of September 1.
Yeah.
Now the showcase platforms, nationals, events and tournaments leading up to nationals, and mini events and tournaments immediately after nationals are running into the conflict of, do I play with my team or do I go on these visits? And then the colleges are running into, well, I'm not going to go recruit the events because I got to get kids on campus, contact. So now the events take a hit
Oh,
because the
I don't
schools.
think they were suggesting that kids could start doing visits July 1st. It's colleges could pick up a phone and call a kid,
So
you know?
contact,
Yeah, contact. Not on campus kind of
not in
recruiting
person
stuff.
contact.
Right.
And so let me just ask you this, and why does a travel ball coach need to have say in that?
Well, I
I'm just
think
curious.
well they're look I think they're trying to look out for the good of their kids. You know, some kids September 1st are just going to be absolutely overwhelmed. Some are going to be tremendously underwhelmed. And I think they just thinking if there was a little bit of a lead up to September 1st, that it might smooth things out for
But
kids.
there is though. I think a lot of kids already know that they're going to get contacted on September 1. They kind of know that they're going to because they can see there's like little hints that I'm going to like your Facebook page. I'm going to like your Twitter page. I'm giving you hints and little
Oh,
subliminal messages.
I would disagree with that.
And even deeper than that. So I think it's not a secret. And there's a very small minority of kids who are getting those calls on September 1 anyway. It's not like it's affecting out of the 70% of travel coaches that have it that are members of the NFCA. What 10% of those 70% have kids that are at that caliber to get early contacted? That doesn't make that.
Yeah.
And those are probably the numbers, and I'm probably inflating them. It's a very small few kids that are getting contacted September 1 with a phone call, and then it's less with a phone call, a little bit more with an email or a little text. But
Yeah.
I would highly doubt. I'm just trying to figure out why it matters to travel ball coaches. If you care about your kids, get them better so they can get that call, which is one of our topics, player
Yeah.
development. You
Yeah.
care about them, get them
Um,
better, be a better coach, get them better, improve them so that they can get that call.
well,
It's not about voting. What do you think?
here's another one that came out of the buzz, and this wasn't a travel ball thing. It was, I think everybody that I know was under the impression that if you play 2 years of JUCO, you can still play another 4 years of NCAA ball, and that is not true.
I'm glad that's not true.
Yeah. So you're back to if you're junior college, you got 2+2, or you got 1+3, but the grand total is four, not six, like everybody thought it was.
I mean, you graduated in four. Like, don't you
Supposed to,
graduate in four, maybe four and a half, sometimes five?
maybe five.
You know, depending on the student and the athlete and the school and the situation. Like, but six?
Yeah.
Come on, y'all. Now we getting out of hand. Six?
Yeah. A little bit. Yep.
I thought that was a little bit getting out of hand. I thought it was. I didn't. I had my own opinions, but I just didn't understand why it takes six
Yeah.
to get out of
I don't
school,
know.
unless you're gonna play through your grad years and stuff. But
Hmm.
but yeah, so that's interesting. So yeah, I thought the tri-ball attendance, and I like the fact that the tri-ball attendance because it brings everybody together. The community aspect of it, the oh, I can put a name to a face or a face to a name, or you get to hang out and take a picture with someone who I ran into a lot of people that I really have social media. I follow them on social media, and I got to see them in person and meet them in person, get a little picture with them, and people that I've messaged them back and forth on social media. We all in one place, all of us in one location, which is kind of cool. And to have that many people, I just didn't know that the attendance. As a matter of fact, that's a fun fact. I did not know that 70% of NFCA membership was travel ball coaches, and but it makes sense when you think about it
Well,
because
I think I
there's
know
so many more travel ball coaches than there are anything else.
one of our local travel ball organizations out of
Mm-hmm.
the Richmond area here is called Unity. They
Yep,
had 26 coaches at the clinic
that's
at the
that's
convention.
that's very good.
I mean, they're there in force. And they're all there. They're trying to learn, not just there to gamble.
Yep,
You know, yeah, a good aggressive organization. So,
I like that.
well, tell me, what did you hear about speakers? Did you get any feedback? Did you listen to any speakers' presentations? Um, I've got a couple, but let's hear what you got to say.
I'm gonna tell you. Let me just tell you a quick story. So I was supposed to present in the batting cages for the product demos
Right.
for Max BP, the machine that Max BP, the little machine that shoots out the little wiffle balls for hand-eye vision coordination, and I was
Okay.
also scheduled to do the cage demo for Rapsodo,
Right.
and I was going to be demoing how I use the Rapsodo 2.0. And the problem that I had was my flight landed at 12:20, and Max BP had the cage from 12 to 12:45. So there was no way I was going to be able to
Oh,
do that.
yeah.
That was going to be impossible. But Rapsodo had cage time from 2 p.m. to 2:45 p.m. So I proceeded to land at 12:20, and I got to the facility about 1:15. I got to the hotel at 1:15. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get up to the room. I'm gonna, freshen up, change, grab my tripod and stuff, my camera equipment out of my car. Which thank God, Rapsodo had, they had their own photography crew, and they were really really good and had all the latest technology that I needed. So that was cool because I wanted to film my own stuff. But anyway, um, we ended up shooting the content for Rapsodo in the cage, and I ended up going to sleep. After that, I went right to sleep. I was like, okay, I gotta go take a nap. I was wanted to wake up in time to see certain things that I was interested in, and I was more interested in some of the off the cuff stuff because I felt like those were the real people that I wanted to hear from, who I know would really share the information wholeheartedly. I don't, and the feedback that I've always gotten and I've always witnessed was the way college coaches could hold back on information when they're
You know what?
presenting.
I'll say this. I've thought about that a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because on Thursday I presented,
Mm-hmm.
and the time constraints that you're under for the amount of time you get to present,
Mm-hmm.
it's so tight that you just really can't get in deep into the nuts and bolts of your subject. At least I felt like I couldn't.
But you
We had
co-presented. You had other people presenting with you.
Well, we had 55 minutes. It was Asaya Rivera, foot doctor, and myself, and Megan Rhodes Smith moderated it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, she would ask a question, and we each took a turn answering it. And I think I'm trying to remember that it was 5 or 6 questions, and we knew what the questions were in advance, so we prepped and had some slides. But I'm telling you what, you know me, I talk a lot, but I talk slow.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was just wrapping it off like a machine gun, and it just wasn't time to get in as deep as you wanted to get into.
I hear
And
you, but
I think everybody's sort of under that constraint.
yeah, but if you're the only speaker and you have 45 minutes, that's so much time to get off what you got to get off. And
Well,
that's normally what it is. If it's only you, it's hard when you're a part of a group of three presenters and that sort of a format. It's very difficult for you to get into the
yeah.
nitty gritty. You know, you can answer the questions and kind of get go into as much detail as you need to, but then you have to respect the other speakers and their time too. So I think
Hmm.
that's more difficult. And you only have 55 minutes. I think that if you're going to have that kind of a platform, it's got to be an hour and 15. And I think the other thing I think too is in a presentation that someone is paying money for to go and see specifically, the feedback that I got was people were turned off by the idea that someone would use that time to promote a product. And some people felt that people were promoting products. Whether they were or not, it turns people off to hear you talk about a product that
Yeah.
they may not even
Well,
have,
I would have
or
been one of those. I would
yeah.
have been one of those people.
And I think I don't
Because one of the questions
yeah.
was what tools and techniques do you use to make pictures better?
And
Well,
I understand that, but and I'm not saying
yeah,
that you're guilty of it or anyone was guilty of it. I'm saying how it comes across.
yeah,
Because when I'm talking to, like, for me, if I'm doing an engage, I'm only talking to people who are interested in that product, probably have the product, maybe they're on the borderline of maybe buying the product and they have interest in that product. That's different than if I'm in a venue and the topic is how to get more bat speed, right?
hmm,
And then it feels like I'm in a sales pitch situation for a bat speed product, if you know what I mean. But
hmm,
even though that might be the answer, this is how you get more bat speed. That might
yeah,
very well be the answer, you know.
yeah,
But I felt like people and have and I think it's just the times that we're living in. People are getting bombarded with, hey, buy my this, try my this, subscribe to my this. This is how it works. It's a subscription for this, and you got to. And a lot of people think, like when I looked at my audience, the first thing I asked my audience was before I started to speak was, who do we have? Are there college coaches here or are there travel ball coaches here? Most of the people that were in the audience watching my presentation for the Engage, I didn't recognize them. I didn't recognize their logos. So I'm like, maybe they could be NAIA, JUCO, Division two and three schools that I'm not familiar with those logos. So I asked the question, and about 95% of that group surrounding the cage raised their hand and said, we're college. I was like, I thought they would travel. And the reason why that matters is because it would matter to me who I'm talking to, because now I'm talking to, I have to tailor my presentation to who's in the audience. Because if I'm talking to people who are travel ball coaches, then I can talk to them about why they can afford the technology. Because they're not limited by a budget like some schools are. And then you have schools that are sitting in the audience looking at Rapsodo like, wow, I wish I could get a Rapsodo, but Rapsodo costs this amount of money and has a subscription fee annually of this. We know that we can't afford it. If I ever get anything like that, I'm fundraising and I'm coming out of my own pocket to do that. And then next year, because I got to resubscribe to the subscription, I got to figure out how to do it again next year. So that's the boat that those people are in, although they really want the technology. And it's like and then you have schools on the other end of the spectrum who can buy 3, 4, 5 Rapsodos, right? And then 3 of them, they don't even have to open up the box. They have, oh, I got 3, we haven't even opened up the box. So there's a big, huge disparity in terms of what people can, what type of resources that different schools have, and how much creativity they need to have. And for example, there's a Division three school in Virginia who I had a phone call with, right around the corner from where you are, and we went over like how he can create a lab on a budget. Like if this is your budget, you can do all those things for $500 that all the other schools can do. You just got to be a little more creative and a whole lot smart. So there's always a way around, whatever your obstacles are and whatever things you have to overcome. It's just a matter of how resourceful you can be and how creative you can be. And I think that's where I would have loved to have gone. And that could have been a topic. how to create a lab to get data and analytics on a very limited budget, which was probably 95% of people in that convention. You know.
Well, there's two things that I see that
Yep.
or hear from people. I'm manning the 4D motion booth there.
Hmm.
Two things: technology. Anything that even smacks of the word technology scares the bejesus out of. I'll bet you 70% of the people that are at that convention.
It does.
Okay, and the other thing is budget constraints.
Hmm.
They got X number of dollars and they got to spend them wisely. And if you're talking a Rapsodo or 4D motion or something like that, you're in the three, four, $5,000 range, and
Hmm.
that might be the entire budget for like a Division II college.
Yep.
You know, so how do you do that? And then how do you take the technology? I hate to use this term, but how do you dumb it down? How do you make it so that whatever device you're using can give you the information in a simplistic, understandable terminology?
Well,
That's
I'm
that
glad
is
you.
a that's
I'm,
a challenge.
I'm glad you said that. I don't think that technology companies they make the technology, they create it, they create an interface,
They're
they
geeks.
create outputs from the
They're
perspective of
geeks.
their geekness, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's a small minority of coaches who have the knowledge on the sports side of things, but they also have a geek side of them as well. That's a very small percentage of people in sports, by the way, that have both. Usually it's one or the other. Normally
Yeah.
it's one or the other. It's very rarely both. So for us, for
You got
me,
to hope now. I think everybody, any major college that has a director of ops, they've made them the director of technology. And the coaches do, they coach on the field and
yeah, but
say, okay, slap some
that
sensors on somebody or tell me what
but
these Rapsodo numbers mean.
that's still a small minority of if every school that has the budget to buy technology bought it, you as a tech company, you're still not making enough money to survive. Think about it, if every school who could afford 4D motion bought one, the schools who could afford to buy one, if they all bought one and rebought it, that's the other part. Like, am I gonna do it again? Did I get the support that I thought I should have gotten? Did I get the help that I thought I should have gotten? Did somebody make this plain and simple for me, or was it too much time taking out of my day? Remember, college coaches are not just doing X's and O's and skills and skill acquisition and player development. They gotta do a whole lot of other things before they even get on the dirt. A whole lot of other things. They don't want to be sitting in front of an app trying to figure out a custom program for this kid, and they may only find one little thing.
Hence,
Like they
it's
can't.
got to be
It's
it's
not.
got to be simplified. You got to have the cliff notes or the, whatever you want to call it, my technology for dummies book.
And then they still have to read that book. I mean, there's a lot of things. I don't. It's just not realistic. And which is my point. My topic I have on my paper here is where. What is the future of technology? Is it sustainable at the pace? Bottom line is the softball care. As a
What
sport,
was that?
the softball care. As a sport, as an industry, the softball give a crap about tech and all these numbers. And I'm not talking about the high up on top of the food chain, the small minority of schools who could afford it, who could hire an extra person to break down the information and the data and create reports for kids. I'm talking about as an industry, and it has to be from the bottom up. It can't be from the top down. And I had a conversation with a tech company over the weekend. I said, here's the problem you guys are making. You guys think this is baseball. Softball is not baseball. Softball is not data driven. It's not embedded in the culture of softball to be data driven. We are far away from that, right? There's no hierarchy that says this is what we're doing, and then everybody else follows that hierarchy to get to that space, i.e. MLB, i.e. ABCA. There are several other governing bodies that are probably more powerful than NFCA and more influential than NFCA. And even if NFCA said, okay, the new standard is we are going to be data driven. Okay, well, what about everybody else who's not on board with NFCA necessarily? And they have their own ecosystem. And softball's always had multiple ecosystems. Oh, did I say ecosystems? That was a
Ego,
that
ego.
was a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
I said
Well, it might have been
ecosystem.
right on.
I
Yeah.
said ecosystems. I promise I did not mean to say ecosystems, but maybe I
Yeah.
did. Maybe subliminally I meant to say ecosystems. I'm trademarking that, by the way. I'm trademarking ecosystems. Tomorrow morning I'm calling my IP attorney.
There you go. Do it.
But
Do it.
no, but seriously, MLB has a hierarchy, right? ABCA, MLB, and this is the standard. If you don't have a 100-mile-an-hour exit velocity, you will not be a draft pick. Every 7-year-old baseball player knows that. Every dad of a 7-year-old baseball player knows that. Every mom of a 7-year-old baseball player knows that. But what's that? What's the metric in baseball? I mean, softball. What's the equivalent of the MLB in softball? Is it pro or is it the SEC? Is the SEC the MLB of softball, or is pro softball the MLB of softball? And who says what matters? Because right now no one knows the answer to those questions, and that's where technology becomes less relevant. It's only relevant to the people who really see the value in it, and not everybody sees the value in it.
So let's go that all the way back to we chatted earlier about player development. So are the colleges going to leave that up to private instructors to introduce the technology to the kids and in an effort to make a kid better? Is that where it lies? I mean, there's probably a lot more pitching instructors and hitting instructors than there are colleges in this country. So where's the market for a technology company?
So I'm going to say this: um, with stars, this is what we do, and we've been doing this since I've got there. Ready?
Yep.
Every player in the organization has access to what we call a Stars Day, and we run them regionally for free. We run them regionally. We fly to the region. We bring all the tech. We bring it all. Blast motion or dynamic kinetics, Rapsodo, standing broad jump, 20-yard dash, grip strength, overhand throw velocity, pop times, etc. Every kid
Home,
gets tracked.
home to
Let me
first.
finish. Let me finish. Every kid gets tracked and gets numbers. For the
Mhm.
first, if it's a kid's first time with us, it's actually a baseline number. If it's somebody who has not been with us for more than the first time, it's it's a retest or a reassessment. Now they have a number. We have a spreadsheet. The entire organization can see the spreadsheet and see where you are. We also do a customized plan for every single kid. Does every kid do it? Probably not. We actually take the time to create matching correctives for each issue, whether it's a bat speed issue, acceleration issue, an exit velocity issue, a mechanics issue, an overhand throw issue, and then everything is in the app.
Well, it sounds like you're going to have to hire me.
Everything is in the app. We could talk. Everything is in the app for all the training and correctives. All of it's in the app. Every kid has access to all that. Not because it's the standard in softball, it's because that's something that we're passionate about. We're passionate about how tech can help us to evaluate objectively, have numbers, have measurables, have something that we can go back to. It helps us with regards to who's getting better, who's not, who needs to fire their hitting or pitching coach and who doesn't. And it just helps us to be able to understand: are we going are we following a trajectory, and which way is that trajectory going? Is it going up, or is it going down? And without that, I don't know how you do that with a large organization with players who are living. We have kids from 13 states and 2 countries on one team. That's kind of the model nowadays. But I think for teams who don't care about development, it doesn't matter. But if you care about development, it's hard and it's something that you have to figure out if you care about development. Because development is something that I take seriously because it's who I am, but not everybody does. And there's even colleges who don't really develop. They just go out and get the best players. And if they work, they work out. If they don't, they can just go take a hike. And that's kind of the way softball is becoming now, which is what it is. I'm not going to judge it. But we have a responsibility as people in the private sector, you and I, who have a love and a passion and like, I was just explaining this morning to somebody. I was like, look, nobody knows how hard I freaking work and how much time I have to sit down and get my thoughts together around how technology is informing what I'm doing in the cages. Not just what happens in a game, not just what happens in an evaluation of a kid, but what the technology also says it helps me to be able to measure things that I could never see in video, that I could never see with the naked eye, just to get those measurable so I can really know what's really going on under the hood. And that, for me, that's technology, and loving technology is a personality. It's not a guaranteed thing, which is why I think that when you're creating a coaching staff, when you're putting together a coaching staff, if you're a tech-driven individual and you understand the importance of tech, and maybe it's not the all and be all, but it should have some kind of a level of importance to the sport and to your team and to your school and to whatever. Now, then, are there financial restraints that a lot of travel ball teams may have for that, where they can't go out and buy 7 iPads and have, different stations going on with all the tech running at the same time? Maybe, but there's still ways that we can be resourceful. There's still ways that we can be more resourceful and get a stopwatch, a pocket radar to do it. We could use a pocket radar and still get an ex velo number. I mean, we're not. We can. This can be done, but I think it takes time. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of brain work. It takes a lot of organizational skills. And a lot of people don't have those things. It's not who they are, and the top of the food chain doesn't really demand
Are
it
you
either.
saying some coaches are not smart, or are you saying they're lazy, or
Yes,
are they
I'm saying that I'm
complacent,
saying
or
I think
what?
a lot of
Why are
people, a lot of
they
coaches
not
are.
advancing and developing kids then?
I think
Why are they not taking advantage of technology?
I think you just hit all the. I think you just hit them all. You just hit all the
I
points.
didn't say that, did I?
No, no,
I
no,
suggested it.
no, no. I'm saying like I think you hit, and everybody can't be everything, which is why everybody's not going to win. And then you have to define winning. What's winning? Is winning winning? We won a lot of games, or is winning? I'm helping a lot of kids get 40 to 60% better in my efforts in my development program, and it's helping them to be able to do things and reach dreams and that they've never been able to reach before. It's helping them with their self-esteem, and that's another area that you could be winning in. So I can't say
Yeah.
what for everyone. Maybe success is different. For everyone, winning may look differently, right? For me, when I'm looking at girls and women in sports, I'm like, the world beats them down to a degree that we could never understand. And for us being able to help them to feel a little bit better about themselves, know that they can go from point A to point B to point C to point D, and if they really put their heart and soul and their work ethic into it, and if we can collaborate with their parents in that area as coaches, I think for me, and if we can give them a sense of community, we can give them a sense of understanding what it truly means to be a part of something and be a part of a team, and understand the level of commitment that it takes to be a part of something, which is also fleeting in this world right now, then for me, that's success and I am winning. Because what's winning the game if you don't do all those things? You just setting your kid up to go make it to their dream school, be the 16th, 15th, 14th player, be unhappy, go in the portal, and that's your life. It's a lot of things that contribute to coaches not harnessing technology. I think laziness could be a part of it. Less focus could be a part of it. I think ineptitude. They're not smart enough to realize that's important. They're all about themselves and not the
Isn't that
kids.
funny? To be a college coach nowadays, you have to have a 4-year degree, and they prefer a master's. but you can't read the digits on a Rapsodo or a Pitch Logic and understand it. That surprises me.
But that's not even it. You ready for this? I could accept that they can't do it, but the fact that they don't even want to try to learn how to do it is where I lose it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Well, hey,
everybody everybody can't
we got on
everybody
this rabbit trail.
everybody
Hey,
can't do everything, but like you don't
yeah,
even want to try. You don't even want to like apply yourself and say, you know what, I'm locking myself up in a hotel room for the next week, and I'm gonna go hire somebody to come in and help me understand it. Or if I don't want to understand it, because I want to help my kids, I'm gonna hire somebody who does understand it. That's gonna be part of the job requirement of it. Bring in assistant coaches who do what you don't do.
yeah. Okay, so we got on this rabbit trail. We started talking about speakers, and then you got off on the selling product rather than speaking rabbit
And then that took us down to
trail.
technology. But that took us down to
But
technology.
uh, yeah,
So okay,
let me
when
just
you
throw this out.
go ahead.
I did not attend any speaker things, but this is what I got feedback on. Two people in particular had pretty good presentations. One was Ashley Chastain, University of South Carolina, head coach, on
She's hungry.
culture,
She's hungry though.
developing culture. Okay. And the other one was Riker Chasen. He's the pitching coach at Auburn, and that was on staff development, which I think you and I touched on our last little podcast. But I heard that he had a pretty good presentation that kind of clicked and made sense with everybody. So, what about you?
I will
You
say
hear about
this:
any good?
just knowing those two individuals. What was the young lady's name again from South Carolina?
Ashley Chastain.
Right, Ashley. So first of all, she's hungry, dude.
She's what?
She's hungry.
Well,
Hungry.
she had a good mentor.
She's hungry. Hungry. Is anybody hungry anymore?
Oh, I don't
Is
know.
anybody hungry? Like she's killing it. She's hungry.
She is.
Like you're not just successful by accident. You don't just trip into success. Don't work that way. So that's one. Two, Riker he's a tech to your point. So not only does this goes back to technology, because Riker is like, for those who don't know, he's really really smart when it comes to understanding how technology works to develop pictures and just overall just movement and movers. Right? If you ever had a conversation with him, he's intelligent. But I also think that when and I've always been like the tech person that have always been the go-to tech person. Hey, have you ever heard about this technology? Have you used it? Have you, you know? And I would make the investment in tech because that's just who I am.
Your
And
technology's ringing back
right,
there.
so
Uh,
so what I'm saying is the amount of things that I have learned from technology is incredible. Because when you're reading it from the lenses of technology, you're like, oh, that's what's happening.
yeah,
I had no.
that's what's
That's what's
really
really
happening.
happening.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh my God.
ding dong. So now when I go out and I watch players, I'm looking at it and I'm like, now I'm looking at that differently
Yeah.
because I've seen it under the microscope of technology, and that's what Riker's
Mhm.
really good at. He understands spin. He understands the movement that affects spin in pitching, and he's on a different level here and how he sees the game. And I think that's what makes him a special dude.
Did you see any brand new technology at the show? That anything that, oh my God, I didn't know this existed, or wow, they've taken this one to a whole new level. Anything that blew your socks off there?
So I would say, and I'm not being biased here, but I visited Casey Roche's booth. He's
Mm,
Pitch Logic, and if you guys
right.
have not seen Pitch Logic, you got to at least check it out. And it goes back to the people who can't you can't afford Rapsodo. I think the ball is like $120. Is it how much is it?
It's $300 for an individual for a player, and it's 500 for a coach. Where it gets a bunch of seats.
So I think that would be
Mine
the
are charging right down here right now, as a matter of fact, because I got a lesson tonight.
Yeah, so I think if you want technology on the pitching side, and you can't get Rapsodo, I think Pitch Logic would be the natural
It fits a
option
budget.
option for
Yeah.
the budget.
And
And
it's not like it's a low tech option. It's a high tech option.
I believe so.
High,
I believe so.
high tech.
I think I think
Yes.
I think Pitch Logic under because Casey has a lot of experience in tech. He understands the game, and he's a ground guy. He's always like a boots on the ground guy, talking to the coaches, showing up at the
Yeah.
practices, understanding what the needs of the coaches are. He listens to the
Yeah.
consumer really, really well.
Casey and I had a little pitching contest at his booth.
Did you?
Casey's a baseball guy. He had no clue how to pitch underhand.
I know
And I
he's a
think I
baseball guy.
showed him a couple different times, okay? And lo and behold, the guy could actually throw a rise ball spin. I mean, no, Casey, I hope he doesn't listen to this. His form was kind of double ugly, but he had rise ball spin on that ball.
Okay, let's go.
It surprised me because it's
I'm
rise
not
ball not
shocked.
easy.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
shocked knowing him. And then I think so. I walked around. I stopped at there was a booth. I'm not. I guess I'm old school, and I don't like that kids are reading wristbands. I just feel like if you're high IQ, never mind. I'm leaving my opinion out of it. But I saw this booth. This guy, he was selling a wristband where the information came up digitally. Like you type it into your phone, and the command to the athletes on the field, pitch, whether they're going to steal or not, bunt, take the pitch, everything came up digitally, in actual words digitally on an electronic wristband, which I thought was
and every player on the team would have one on and see what they think is going to
well. I
happen
think
in
I
that
think you get you get
situation.
you get 12 of them in the package. I
Yeah,
thought it was a little bit overpriced, to be honest, and maybe just because I don't like that. I don't exactly necessarily like it, but I think for people who do like it, you would like it. Like if you like wristbands and you think that having everybody look at the wristband before they throw and before they make a move is something that you like, you would like this product
hmm
because I thought it was kind of cool that it was all digital and you could only put it in for specific. Like if you only want to talk to the runner at first base, you could just talk to her. Boom, it goes right through a wristband. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know the name of the technology though, but I did get a card and I don't have a card on me. But if you look it up,
and so it's in-game approved
apparently,
NCAA.
I don't know if NCAA teams are using it yet. I'm not sure, but I know a lot of travel ball teams. He had travel ball teams up on his wall in his booth that are actually
Yeah,
using it.
gotcha.
So, and they were teams they were pretty reputable teams.
Yeah,
And I thought that I think it's a good thing if you're using that,
uh-huh.
because we've experimented with like the ones where it's electronic but you hit a button, but it was if it's raining out it doesn't work, like it's just a lot of things
Gotcha.
going on with that. So, but yeah,
Right
that's
over there by Casey's booth. Did you see the guy with the gyroscope thing called Axio for shoulder care and core stability?
no.
Sarah, it caught Sarah's eye, and Sarah said, "Oh my God, I got to look at this." And she tried it out. The guy demoed it on her. It's a gyroscope on looks like a wheel about this big, and you hold it, and it's going to really, really, really work your shoulder, and it's going to make your core fire, and you put it in different positions. I immediately, just yesterday, I ordered two of them. I was so impressed with it. Um,
Send me the
it's
link. Send me when you get a chance. Send me the link to that. I want to check that out.
it's Axio.
Axio.
Axio, yeah. I'll send you the link to it. But um, for arm care, shoulder care, just in general, Sarah did it for about 20 seconds, She says, "Oh my God, my core was firing all 20 seconds, just on off, on off, on off, on off." It was it was pretty impressive, and it's priced right, under $200. Okay,
Okay, that's good.
yeah. Um, I'll give you a full report. Mine should be in the mail here today already, and hopefully I get them quick before Christmas and try them out.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes. But yeah, I thought overall, and I was a little bit. It was a different convention for me. I feel like I was like kind of like for example, like I had a my certified coaches. Not all of not all of the people who have taken my certification were in Vegas, but many of them were. So I thought it would be a good idea for us to get together, and I would do a brunch for them and
Oh,
have a
you
good.
did that Saturday,
I did
didn't
that
you?
on Saturday,
That's right. I couldn't make it.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it's okay. I know you would have came if you could have, and it was a great brunch. We got to just kind of hang out and talk, and I had a guest speaker to come and talk to them. She was phenomenal.
Where did you hold it?
I did it at a little a little restaurant.
Okay, a restaurant that had like a back room or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Gotcha. Okay,
yeah. It was
cool.
nice. It was good. I was glad I did it. I think I'll do that every year. It'll
You
probably
know,
incentivize people to
I've
want to come.
talked about doing that, and I should. Maybe I'll do that next year. It's going to be up in Atlantic City, I think. Right?
You know what? Yeah, because you know what? I think it would incentivize people who probably wouldn't come to convention that are part of my group
Sure. Yeah.
to actually want to come,
Yeah.
and not just for that, but there's so many reasons why they should come. But I think once you come to one, you're gonna want to come again.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple things that I think everybody should do. You should definitely, if you haven't attended a convention, you need to attend one. That's
Yes.
one. Two, if you have not been to Oklahoma City for the World Series, you need to go to at least one World Series in your lifetime.
I got to get that one off my bucket list. I haven't done
You
that
haven't
one
been to
yet.
the World
Yeah.
Series, Rick?
Never. Nope.
I gotta
No.
take you to I gotta take you to the World Series.
Yeah. I should. Yep.
It is the most. Oh God! Once upon a time, I used to go every year, but I haven't in a while. I've gone every year, but it is the most. It's a great. I have no words. There's no way to describe it, but it is a
Sure.
great
Well, you're
thing.
watching the eight best teams in the country,
Absolutely.
and probably the eight best fan bases in the country. I'll bet too.
Probably too. Yep. So
Yeah.
it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And then I think you gotta. You know what's a good one? It used to be for me. It used to be Cathedral City, the tournament in Cathedral City, California, in February that they used to have
Oh,
for college softball teams.
is that the? Wait, now there's another one.
Palm Springs. The one they used to call it Palm Springs.
Palm Desert, Palm Springs. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was a
Well,
that
I've been there competing with Georgia. Yeah.
right. So that was a good one. But
Yeah.
more recently, I think the one in Clearwater is kind of. I don't think it's the same, but it's close. Because back
All right. Here's
then,
what we're going to do. We're going to meet at Clearwater at this next one. Okay.
I
And of course, then at that point in time, in person, you'll have to buy me that Starbucks
at Starbucks that
you didn't
I
buy me
almost
in
bought you for.
Vegas.
So I might not be in Clearwater this year because one I didn't go last year, but two I might not be here there this year because I am doing a softball event in Hawaii,
Oh, well, that'll work.
and I'm not turning down Hawaii. I said, you know what? Here's the weekend I'll do it because I was all booked, and I said
Yeah.
I was leaving it open for Clearwater, but I said, you know what? I'd rather be in Hawaii watching the games in Clearwater.
Sure. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
So I told them I
Hey,
would go.
I feel obligated to do a shout out a little bit on the convention. That is one hellacious thing to coordinate. So hats off to Carol Brueggemann and her staff
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
I mean, really putting on a real show there. And Joanna Lane is the director of education for NFCA, and
Mm-hmm,
so because I'm a presenter, I get to meet Joanna and we talk and whatnot.
mm-hmm.
And she does a fabulous job too. I mean, you talk about somebody that for about 4 days in a row has got to be the best juggler in the world. Both of those ladies are doing a great job.
Yeah, that is no small undertaking. an event of that
Yeah,
magnitude
big.
is not. And I think the Hall of Fame dinner, I wasn't sure. I know. So Lou Harris, who went in?
Lou Harris Jumper,
She went
Georgia.
in, right?
Yep.
I know she went in. There's a lot of Georgia players there. I saw the Georgia kids coming out to represent, which is great. And you know who else went in? Who I thought, and I think the world of her, Susie Williamson.
Yeah.
So I think the world of her. And I stopped her and I said, because you know, I worked with her daughter during COVID remotely.
Yeah.
When COVID, everybody was doing a lot of remote training. I worked with her daughter like maybe twice a week before she went off to school. Like you know, she was getting ready up to that point. And then I've worked with Susie's teams over the years, and came down and worked like you know 2 days in Virginia here, 2 days in Virginia there. She's another one who's really into tech and really into exploration of all the things that you can find to help kids get better. But I said to her, I said, you know, I said, you're giving your entire life to this game. And she just looked at me. And she's so
Oh
humble.
yeah.
She's so humble. I said, no, really, you're giving your entire life to this game, even for people that aren't your own children. And a lot of coaches are doing that. She's not the only one who's giving her life, but I just wanted to say that to her, those words.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, she said, "Well, you have too." I said, "But we talk about you right now. You're going into the Hall of Fame. You're being honored, and it was just good. It's good to see people be appreciated
Hmm.
for what they contributed to the sport of softball. So I was really happy for her and all the people that she's had influence on. She's influenced a lot of people. She's like a three-peat in high school softball. She three-peated over there in Virginia for the state championship. I'm like, she's killing it. She took over at the high school for Tommy Orndorff, you know.
I know. Yeah.
For Tommy Orndorff, shout out to him. He's, you know, you guys don't know who Tommy Orndorff is. He was the coach of the Virginia
Virginia
Shamrocks.
Legends or
Virginia,
Shamrocks. I mean, yeah.
yeah, Virginia Shamrocks. And the Shamrocks
Yeah.
were, for those who don't know, back when ASA, when it was ASA Gold Nationals, the Virginia Shamrocks were the only, well, they were not the only, they were the first Eastern Seaboard team to
That could
ever
compete.
to ever win a national championship. I mean, he was the first one ever. Tommy Orndorff. That was such a loaded team. That team was stacked. Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Well, did you hear any other good speakers or hear of any?
you know Joey Kuna
No.
from Farm System.
Oh, Joey.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, I went to his presentation on Friday night. We went to a 1 hour presentation at his place.
So
Um, it was it
I
was the
was.
best 1 hour I spent all week.
Let me tell you something, man. Not only is so Joey's mind. They need to donate his brain to science when it's all said and done, because that kid's mind is something else.
It travels fast.
He is
For 1 hour, I
he
don't know
is
if he
dude.
even took a breath.
He is sharp. He's an incredible communicator. He's extremely genuine. And you could be all those things, and then sometimes you could be all those things, and you could be like annoying, and nobody wants to hear you. But he's the opposite. He's. I'm glad
His
he. I'm glad he's.
his presentation, along with he had a big. This is at his facility. Great big screen, very professional PowerPoint presentation, and it was on our level. Even though I'm guessing he's up here, but he could put it at our level. We understood it. We had about 8 of us that went from, let's say, our little pitching collaboration group. It was fabulous
Yeah,
to the
he's.
point where we're thinking about going to. He puts on 4 day sessions, training sessions, and I think we're going to try to book one with our group.
Yeah, he's a special guy.
Pardon?
He's a special guy.
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah, he's special. It's
Yeah.
not many people that can do what he does at the level that he does it with, and at the consistency that he does it, and sharing it like he shares it.
Well, let me tell you
He doesn't
what,
like keep it like a secret. Like, no, this is all mine. I'm not going to tell anybody what I'm doing. Like, he's like, and I
we
like that.
paid $25 to go to his 1 hour presentation. It was supposed to start at 5:15, and it did. It's supposed to be 1 hour. We got out of there at about 8:30. He just kept going.
I knew it wasn't going
And
to be no
if
hour.
somebody asked a question, bam, there was another 15 minutes that he was going to expand on
Yeah,
things. It was pretty impressive.
yeah, he's cool like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's all I really got from convention. Um, I played a little bit of blackjack, but
Yeah.
I'm not really a gambler like that.
Yeah. And so next year the convention's in Atlantic City. And I got to toss a coin if I'm going to go there because you just can't get there from here, even though it's a 6.5 hour drive for me. I mean, you got to go through every big city in the whole United States to get there. I'm not sure I want to do that. And if you fly in, you still got to drive an hour and a half. So it's in your back door.
Yeah, AC's in my backyard. I remember they had it in AC before. Um, it felt weird, and I remember going and like I actually went up for a day, and that was it. I didn't even stay over. I just went up for a day, and then I went back home, and I didn't go back the next day. It was like it was. I felt like it was a little bit light in terms of like the amount of people that showed up for Jersey.
It's
It is a
just
hard place.
not
It is a hard place to get to, though. I will say that
it's not central for anything. It
it's
just isn't.
difficult to get to Atlantic City.
It
If
is.
you're going to do it in Jersey, you might as well do it in New York City
Yeah.
because it's so hard to get there. You know what I mean? Or Philadelphia. That makes more sense. Philly would have been better, and but I'm not on the planning committee. But I think hopefully it'll turn out well. I think AC gives you the, that whole gambling allure. It's still one of those cities, one of those places that are on a lot of people's bucket list to get to. There's good food. There's good, So looking forward to it.
All right.
That's one of those things that I can't not go to that one. But so it was good to chat though. I know you got
Yes, it
lessons.
was. It was great. Yeah, I gotta wrap up and do a lesson
This
here
is our
and
recap
mold
here.
mold more kids. Yeah.
But I got to catch up with you on a couple things too at some point because I want to talk more about the action types guys because I can't even sleep thinking about that.
Yes, let's catch up on that. Yeah, I got some insight for you.
And then when their book gets translated into English, I want about 20 books.
Okay. Yeah.